I carry you like I carry my pack, even if I don't come back.
Welcome back, Warriors. Today we're here with our special guest, Paul Ballenger. He is a jack of many trades, as I would say, a military veteran. Veteran?
Yes.
Yes. A CEO of Invicta, a security company here based out of Denver.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your career, because we're here to talk about dynamic warriors, and I feel like your story is so much more dynamic than just your career, but I feel like that maybe has kind of laid the foundation of who you are.
Yes. Thanks for having me on, first of all.
Oh my gosh, it's so great to have you.
Honored to be here. Thank
My
you.
sixth guest, and 6 is my favorite number, so
There we go.
it's gonna be
a banger. It's gonna be good.
banger. It's gonna be great.
Awesome. My career, as far as my career, I guess I'll start it going back to Marines, 2000. I joined the Marine Corps, and that was, I guess, the beginning of my professional career. I guess I did that for 4 years, and that was really fun. I was infantry out in California, did a couple deployments out there, and then got out. Worked in real estate for a little while. My dad's a real estate guy. My family's a real estate family, so I did that for a little while. It was actually pretty cool. Kind of ties into later in life, so it was actually a good experience.
Okay.
Then I became a firefighter and went back to college, finished my degree. And then during that time, I joined the Army Reserve and got my commission, became an officer in the U.S. Army. So I was a firefighter for a long time. Then I kind of fell into the security industry about 8 years ago. That led me to a position in Colorado where I moved out here in 2017. Worked for a company for a couple of years, had some really good experience as a COO there, and learned a great deal. And then, about a year and a half or so ago, I saw some good opportunities I thought were there, and so we myself and a couple of partners decided to start our own thing and kind of chase those opportunities. And so now I'm a CEO of Invicta Solutions, which you mentioned is a security company, private security company in Denver, based out of Denver.
So when you say opportunity, I know that, does your company have something to do with cannabis, and that was why it was so good with Denver, or?
Yeah, that's a part of it. We're physical security, so we have security guards, mostly armed. And being in Denver and in Colorado in the security space, cannabis is definitely a big part of that. Right. And so we've done well in that market. And we do other things too. That's not the only piece we do, but there were some good opportunities to expand in other markets and other states that we felt. It's as you may know, it's a very rapidly growing industry nationally. And so, we kind of put ourselves in position to try to make the most of those opportunities. So
awesome.
It's been good so far.
Yeah, it's a great industry to be in. I know that much. And
Definitely.
You mentioned real estate earlier. I don't know if it's agents, but I'm, real estate agents in your family. I'm in the mortgage lending. So
okay.
I can familiarize with how great that is a growing industry. Did you dabble in that a little bit as well? Or
mortgages?
Yeah.
No, just sales, just real estate sales, listings and buyer representation and stuff. And I did it for a couple of years, which at the time I really enjoyed it. That was in 2004. Which was a really hot market. So I felt like I was awesome.
Before the crash.
Then I realized things started dipping a little bit, and I realized actually I think I was just in the right place at the right time more so than I was good. But I did learn a lot. I came out of the Marines not knowing a lot, not anything about business really. So that helped me just understand contracts and sales and dealing with clients and things like that. So at the time, it didn't seem, when I became a firefighter, it's like, okay, that time doesn't really bring a lot of value, but as things have turned around and I've gone deeper in the security space and in leadership, that was actually really helpful. A lot of that stuff kind of carried over as far as business stuff. So it was actually a really good experience looking back on it. So
that's awesome. So I've always said firefighter is like my dream occupation. I have no idea. I see the lights, I see the truck, I get super excited. And so can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, I know that you're military, you're Marines, then Army, you're CEO now. So that middle time, right? The firefighter time. How long did you do that? And what made you change?
I was a firefighter for 8 years. I started as a volunteer. I kind of focused in on it. I never really, as a kid, I just wanted to be a Marine or a soldier or whatever. But honestly, I was in during 9/11, and during that time, that really shaped everyone's military career, really still to this day. And so, I don't know, I've always had a high respect for firefighters. I think it's a really cool job. It's a fun job. And, on 9/11, I kind of witnessed all the, everything they did. And I was just really blown away. The things that I value in the Marine Corps, I saw in the fire service. And so I thought that'd be a good at least transitional job, if not a career. And I really enjoyed it a lot. I didn't want to be so pinned down. I wanted to kind of check out other stuff. So I kind of moved along, but I loved it. It was a great career. I really enjoyed it and made a lot of really good friends I'm still in touch with. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's super great.
You get some good naps.
Maybe right? Maybe
Yeah.
one day I'll
And the best cooks.
follow my right.
Seriously.
I always see those guys at the grocery store buying all the best
That's
things.
all they do. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done so much in your business career. Let's talk a little bit about your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that you faced a lot of adversity as far as in your personal life, which a lot of people don't like to talk about. So
Sure.
I'm here. You're a dynamic warrior. It's probably kind of crafted you to who you are. Would you say that that's accurate? Some of the things you've been through?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of looking back on it now. I'm 43 years old now. At the time of some of the crazy things that have gone on, it just seems like everything's just not good. And it's like, you don't feel like you're going to get out of it. But looking back after, several years of being kind of distanced from it, absolutely has shaped me for who I am. Some of the things that I couldn't have achieved or done back in the day, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. I guess if I can get through that, I can get through the next thing or anything maybe, so it's definitely give me a good shield and just helped have resiliency. Some of the day-to-day things that people would flip out about. I mean, I still get worked up. I'm pretty high energy but end of the day, it's not the end of the world, kind of thing. So it's definitely, I guess built up my armor a little bit to be able to deal with some of the stuff that we face, day in, day out.
Right, because day in, day out, in and out things are much more simplified than, I mean, I understand that you have lost not only a child, but also your wife.
Yes.
Yes. I don't even know how to get into this.
Yeah. Do you want me to carry it or lead off a little bit with that?
Yeah.
Or kind of, yeah. So as far as the family, like adversity, challenges, there was definitely a really rough string there for me. I got married in 2006. I got married, and my wife and I, we were pregnant in 2008. We got pregnant with twins, and so having twins is, looking back now, I'm an expert on, for better or for worse, I'm an expert on that kind of stuff. But yeah, they were 26 weeks, and I took a day off to go to a birthday party, and I was home, and my wife at the time, she didn't feel well. Things were going on, things weren't right. And so we called the doctor, and they're like, go to the ER, whatever, go to the hospital. So we did that, and it wasn't good. Obviously, 26 weeks.
26 weeks,
it's
that's
not good.
early.
Yeah,
right.
Back in the day, that's just, it's over. So now with technology, good things can happen. But it was absolutely terrifying. It was pretty scary. So they were born, and the doctor, it was like a whirlwind. You don't know what's going on. You just have this vision of, we're going to hit 45 weeks or whatever, or 40, whatever it is. I don't even know.
38 is
right.
like the starting of the safe zone.
Right.
So here you are 12 weeks even earlier than that.
Right, which is at that point, every day is significant. And so, it was tough. So it was like being like in a car crash or a plane crash, because you're just completely out of control. And I guess based on my career, like being in control is something I like. I don't have to control everything, but I at least like to know everything's good to go. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, then I want to be able to help and fix it.
Right. And at that point, you couldn't.
I was
couldn't help.
absolutely I was just in the waiting room, sitting around, just, freaking out. So, so they were born. They got transported to a higher level hospital. That took a long time because of weather and all this stuff. And it was just absolutely terrifying. They got to a NICU, neonatal ICU up in Charleston, South Carolina. And it was really rough. The doctor told us like that probably it's really not looking good. So it was tough. And so it was really tough. And but my it was every day. It was hour to hour basically. And so that was the first time in my life where you just have to really slow things down and just appreciate really every minute, because you don't know what's coming. It was like a complete roller coaster. But my daughter Sydney, she after 4 days passed. She just had tremendous problems. Everything was just in a bad place in a bad way. And yeah, she passed on July 14th. And then my other daughter, Addison, she had a lot of stuff too, tremendous amount of problems, but she was just a hair stronger, just had a little bit more chance. And so they, yeah, she did that. And, you know, she was in the NICU for 3 months and then finally came home, and she's done amazingly well. She's 12 years old now.
Oh, that's fantastic. I can relate a little bit. I've lost a child prior to actually being at a place where, you know, people imagine it's a child, you know, 14 weeks is so I can't even, I would like to think that I could even, compare my story with yours, but.
Right. Then a little bit time later, I met someone that I really just hit it off with right away, and we just connected and, you know, fell in love, and we ended up getting married in later part of 2013.
Oh, so just like a year later.
Yeah, after I was divorced, yeah, about a year and some change later. So I guess kind of I moved pretty quickly, but it was awesome. It was a great time in my life, and I moved to Texas and got married and kind of started over. And it was for a little while there, it was really good. And then in September of 2014, some things were happening. She wasn't feeling well at all. She had some issues and went to the doctor, and they, you know, ran through the whole thing and went and did some scans and everything. And she had cancer, and it was extremely advanced.
Can I ask what kind of cancer she
yeah,
had?
she had cervical cancer, and then it migrated up into like her, I believe her neck area. So it was pretty.
At that point,
it
it
was
had
stage
spread
4.
through her body. Oh.
Yeah, stage 4 upon. So that was tough. So then I learned a lot about that process, and that was extremely, very tough. Anything to do with that disease is tough. It's nothing. It's all tough. And so went through that, and yeah, it was quite advanced. As we know, we went through treatment, everything, and she lost her battle on July 5th of 2015.
July is a really shitty month for you.
Yeah, July 5th. It's like the best month and the worst month, because my daughter obviously born on July 10th. So
right.
Birthday, and actually my late wife Ashley, her birthday was July 9th. So it's like it's the weirdest. It's the weirdest.
The best and the worst.
Yeah,
right?
at the end of every June, I'm just like, here we go. It's just
right.
You know, because it just brings back a lot of memories, of course, and stuff like that. But it's you know, it's good and bad. You know, for me, it's sad because you like think back on those times and obviously these people, and you're like, sucks. But at the same time, it's a reminder just to appreciate what you do have in front of you. You know, so
right.
So it's kind of I guess a mixed blessing depending on how you take it.
Right. So I can't imagine, as you know, I'm a cancer survivor, and I caught mine very early, and I can't imagine it being stage 4. Like when your wife found out, how were you supportive of her? Because I like to I try to put myself in my family's situation, and I will be the first one to say I'm so grateful that I didn't have a significant other that had to worry about me. I can't imagine what you were feeling as a protector and as a significant other and as a father at that point. Like, yeah. How do you... It's so unfair to you to have to reassure somebody that they're going to be okay, but how was she in all of that, and how did you guys get through that?
It was really tough. It was just very tough. Again, back to that, I'm powerless. There's not much I can do, and it's just a hard feeling for anyone, a hard sort of thing to sort of cope with for anyone, I think. I did the best I could. I had to work as well, so I had to try to balance out being a dad, working, and being, I don't want to say caregiver because I don't, but trying to be there as much as there's a million appointments.
Oh my gosh.
It's your life. It takes over your life.
It's horrible. Yes.
Completely takes over your life. That's what you talk about a lot. I mean, try to talk about other things and be positive, but it's always on your mind. It's always there. And it's just so it was very tough. It was tough. I think I did the best that I could, I think, to be supportive, to try to help pick up the slack. So yeah, that's kind of where I did. I put my energy. I mean, I went to as many appointments as I could. I think I went to any big appointment. I went to some of the chemotherapy sessions and stuff like that, which go on for hours. And so yeah, I mean, we lived. I mean, the hospital that she was being treated at was about 10 miles away, and so I went there. You know, like I said, if I wasn't at work, I pretty much for the most part was there. So it was tough. I got support from my family that kind of helped me out. My mom helped me out a great deal with my daughter, things like that. So I mean, there was a lot of support in the community. So I mean, it wasn't just all on me. Her family did a tremendous amount of stuff for her, and so yeah, it was just really tough. It was hard, and especially as we just got married.
I was gonna say, so
usually-
you're with this person that you had just found this new love and this, right, this empowering time in your life, and you love this person, and how long were you able to spend
Yeah, I mean,
together before she was sick?
Yeah, I mean, not long. I mean, we lived together for really about 13 months, I guess, before we found out. And then after that, it's just hospital and all that kind of, it's
Yeah, you don't really live your life together at that point.
Yeah.
Unless you're living it with doctors and counselors
correct.
and
It was,
yeah.
yeah, it was very tough. It was just heartbreaking, especially because I lost my daughter, went through a divorce, which is not fun. I don't care who you are. It's not fun.
No.
And then I'm like, cool, here's a new chapter. Awesome. Fresh start. I met an incredible person I'm in love with. Good things ahead, positive vibes. And then this, and I was just like, not like, it's just like, man, what the hell is this life all about? It's just like,
Right, like why do
like-
we go through this?
right. Like this just absolutely is awful. Is this how it is for, it's just crazy. But, yeah, it was just a rough patch. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it really.
What do you think I always wonder what this is setting me up for. Do you feel like now in life that taught you something more even so than, because losing a child is hard enough.
Yeah,
And then within how long, a year and a half, you lose somebody else that you love in your life. Like, why so much loss for one person? Do you feel like there was a lesson in that for you? And if so, like, what did you learn from that? Because I haven't faced that much loss. I was very, very fortunate in my battle with, well, thus far,
Right.
very fortunate with my battle with cancer. And I'm trying to so much understand the other side, the
Yeah.
person that deals with the loss of losing the loved one and losing a child. Like, what life lesson did it teach you?
I think for me, I don't know. I mean, probably a lot. I just think the biggest thing was, for me, I mean, losing my daughter was just, you never get over it. It's just tough. I mean, you get over, I don't know, I hate that, get over it stuff.
Right.
It's such an annoying thing. It's like I like moving forward.
Right,
Adjusting.
absolutely.
Right. That kind of thing. And so that just, I mean, it always is tough to even think and talk about. But I think that just taught me that, I don't know, life is fragile. I mean, leading up to that point, I was in the Marines. I didn't lose anyone close to me. I went to Iraq in 2003. My cousin was killed in Afghanistan in 2002. And then a lot of the guys that were in my unit were killed in 2004. They had a terrible deployment after I got out. And so that really hit home, like, just, man, life is very fragile. And and so there was that, but that's the military. And I'm not saying that's okay, but it's a dangerous job. And we know that. That's kind of the draw, right?
Right.
I joined the infantry to go do crazy stuff.
Right.
So but the whole time it's like, okay, it could go wrong one day. So just, stay frosty, right? And so it's not accepted, but it's just like, it can be part of the deal. With a child though, it's like, what the hell, dude? Like, this is not right. So it definitely put I don't know. It made me think, like, just how tough life can be. I mean, it's just not, and how unfair it can be. And then with that, same with losing Ashley, it was, same thing. It's like, come on, man, this is a 33-year-old person. Like, they have everything ahead of them. It's just, it's young. You're just getting in the stride of things, right? So I think for me, it just gave me a new appreciation for life in general. And it for a while, I was very cynical. And when people are like, oh, it's been the worst day, and I'll be like,
Right.
you don't know a bad
You
day.
have
But
no idea.
Right. But then there's, as bad as that stuff I'm talking about sounds, there's someone out there that's got it worse.
Yep.
I read an article sometime after that about some guy out west that lost his entire family in a flash flood. I think it was in Utah or somewhere like that. And I was reading it, and it was like his wife and like 4 kids, and he survived just
by himself.
by himself. I mean, you want to talk about survivor's guilt, right? Which is a thing,
Right. Especially as the man, right?
Right, because you're supposed to
How do you
take care of
protect
it.
your family?
Protect the squad, right? And especially being like a Marine and a firefighter, it's like, you're willing to put yourself at risk for other people. That's like part of your job, And so to lose the people you love the most and a child, it's like, dude, and it's just so, it's upsetting, of course, and it's just frustrating because you want to do something and you can't. So I think with that, to answer your question, sorry, I went down the rabbit hole, as I always do, but
That's fine.
I think it just, for me, I just learned that like life is so precious. And I think for myself personally, just that looking back on it now, a lot's happened since those days, a lot of mostly good things. And I just realized like you can get through a lot. And I know that some of my friends that have dealt with tough times, people with PTSD or personal loss or divorce, whatever, they'll hit me up. I mean, I get hit up. I'm not just saying this to sound cool, but I get hit up quite a bit for advice or just to a sounding board or just a vent or just like advice, like, you know, how'd you get through this, man? Because this sucks. And so I've been able to help other people. So for me, that's definitely something that's been rewarding. You know, I wish that was not the case, of course.
Right.
But at the position I'm in now, it's like it's helped me long-term empathy as well. I have much more empathy for people than I used to. Used to be like, whatever, suck it up, dude. And it's like, nah, dude, you're going through a lot.
Right.
You know, so.
So let me ask you, from somebody that, this is hard, that has lost a child that I never got to connect with. You had 4 days.
Yeah.
Yes, with Sydney. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with her, with those couple of days that you had and the bonding moments that you were able to share with her?
Yeah. So basically in the NICU, it's like, think COVID-19, but like everything, in the sense that everything is sanitary, everything is clean. There's a process to do anything. Like if you want to drink water, it's like, okay, this is how you do it in here. It was a crazy world. And I was an EMT and a firefighter. So I'm quite, at that point, fairly familiar with at least the emergency side of medical care. This was like a whole nother world that I'd never seen before. And hopefully most people don't see it, but it's very unique. And so going in there, everything was very regimented for good reason. These children are extremely high risk and stuff like that. So really the children, but all of the children in there were in incubators. So you can't touch them. You can't hold them. You can't just pick them up like a baby, like normal. It's a whole process. You got to, wash your hands. You got to do all this stuff, wear a gown and all that kind of thing. So anyway, so basically what they would do is the human contact, skin on skin human contact is good for them. It makes them feel calm and comfortable. And literally, so you put a kid like you literally undo your shirt like this and you put the child in there and then kind of snuggle them up. And you can literally, they're hooked up to all the leads, the oxygen, their heart rate, all its blood pressure. And when you do that, you can literally watch all their vital signs get better. Or like if they're high, which is typically the case, they're working hard, they slow down. And so it was incredible to see that. So I forget the word they used it, kangarooing, like a kangaroo.
Okay, yeah.
So I got to do that with both my daughters. And so they would they would do it like every few hours. They would let you do it. And sometimes the nurses would do it, or Sydney's mother would do it. But yeah, so we got to do that and just chill out. And those were my first experiences as a father, so it was kind of crazy.
So you faced loss your very first time as a
right
father.
off the rip, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Twins and...
Yeah, it wasn't what I envisioned at all. None of it.
Right.
The whole thing was totally crazy. And so, yeah, I mean, it was special. I'll never forget it. Just sitting there with them was just, it's just cool. Any parents watching this will know it's a cool vibe. But that was very special time. So I'm just grateful for the moments that we had.
Okay, let's get on a happier
I'll leave
note.
that one, yeah.
Can we talk about your love life? Do you have a love life now?
Yeah, I do. I have a girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend for the last 2 years. She's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And she's close with your daughter?
She is, yeah. She gets along with my daughter very well. She's cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's cool. She has children of her own that are super cool, and I get along with them well. So
let's talk about your heart with that. Is that a super scary thing? I mean, to find love again, right? After the loss of so much, are you hesitant to really be all in with somebody new?
No. Well, it's a good question. I think at this point, no. The answer is no. I think I took, what was it, 2015, 2018? Yeah, so I started dating my girlfriend now in 2018. So it was about a 3-year gap between when my wife passed away and when I got sort of into a serious relationship. So 3 years is, I didn't put a time limit on it, but I was just really, I did try to date. I did, and I certainly was social and went out and whatever, but I just was like, anytime that would even sort of come into like, oh, we should do it. I'm like, no, let's not do it again. Like, I just wasn't first for a long time. And I felt guilty about it. It's like when you
Right.
lose someone like that, it's a weird thing because you're like, man, especially if you're in love with them. And I absolutely was. It's like, you feel like you're betraying them, So
Right.
it's a weird thing for a
Right.
while. And then, people are like, hey, you got to live your life, be happy. You deserve it. Your daughter deserves it. Being in a relationship with someone you care about makes you happy and is a good thing. So let that happen if it happens. Sometimes it doesn't, right? So I was like, yeah. So yeah, it was I wanted to have a nice gap before I even thought about it. And when I started dating my girlfriend, it wasn't like, okay, now it's time to lock down an awesome girlfriend and
Right.
boom. It was just like, hey, we met, let's go on a date, blah, blah, right? And yeah, it's been really good. She's an amazing person, and there's just not been really any pressure from either party. I don't think. So it's been very healthy, and it's been good so far. So I'm very grateful. And we just celebrated 2 years of dating. So we'll see.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we went to Vegas during Corona.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you wear your mask the whole time?
I did. Yeah, it's required. But everyone thinks we're like pioneers.
it's-
Like, what was it like? I'm like, like Walking Dead. I'm like, there's zombies everywhere.
Right.
I'm like, it's Vegas.
Well, I
It's-
hear Vegas is. It's like Deadland there. There's nothing.
No, it was bumping last weekend. It was
Oh,
hopping.
it was just last weekend.
Yeah, I
you
went
had
last
this.
weekend. Yeah, I went last weekend. Thursday night it was kind of mellow, and then by Saturday it was bumping. It was packed like normal. So
Like normal.
like normal.
I
Yeah.
need to go to Vegas, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Now it's probably shut down. It changes every
Oh,
week.
all
right?
the things. Yeah,
Right.
all the things have changed.
Like
yeah.
everything's canceled. So I
Right.
don't know. We'll see how it is. But last week it was. I guess we nailed it. It was a great week. Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's good.
Celebrate you
Yeah. Cheers.
in your 2 years.
Right. That's it.
I want to cheers to that, but I don't.
We got water.
Yeah. I just want to know how you just warrior through, like finding new love. So I'm in the opposite boat, right? I'm in the survivor's guilt boat. I'm in which I guess you kind of feel some of too, with raising a child and losing a wife. Like, you're the survivor, I'm the sole provider. How did you know when it was time to just move forward? I feel like I'm kind of in this stagnant place where I just don't know, and I want to be happy and I want to move forward. I just don't know how I know when it's the right time.
I feel like going back. I've done a lot of, as you know. I mean, we've touched on some things, but I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've lived in a lot of places. So I think my natural sitting in one place for too long, I'm like, I have ADD. This is probably the most focused I've been in a week.
Thank you for that.
No problem. You're welcome. Yeah, for me, I think as a whole hybrid of things. I mean, I think as a kid growing up and moving around, I moved around quite a bit, and I was always looking to do new, different things. So like reinventing myself or starting fresh has always kind of been my thing. It's kind of like, if you talk to my mom or dad, they'll just laugh because they're like, he's always up to something. It's like, oh, this is good for a few years. Now what is he up to? So I've done that a lot. So I think that mindset helped me on the front end. Been like just being able to be like, okay, yeah, I'll get through this, but at some point, I'm gonna have to start fresh. I've got to look in a different direction. I can't just keep doing the same thing. And so I think that helped me basically. But for me, getting through it really, I mean, to be honest, I've always wanted to be a dad, so to speak, but like on the fringe. There's people I know that are like, oh, I can't wait to be a mom. It's going to be the best. I'm going to paint the room pink. And it's like, I'm never like that at all. I'm an only child. I'm selfish, but I don't want to say selfish, but I'm definitely, maybe somebody will say I'm selfish, but I definitely like to just be able to do my thing, have the freedom. So I guess somewhat selfish, but not in a terrible way. And so I've always been like that. So, being a dad, like that was really never even on my radar, not much. And so when I became one, I was just like, okay, it's getting real. And so after Sydney passed away, it was like, all right, dude, you got to step up.
Right. Now you have to be 2 times the dad. Because, yeah.
Right. And so I was like, this kid's life depends on you doing the best you can. So ever since I've been doing that pretty much. I mean, I'm not perfect or anything like that. I've made plenty of mistakes, but just saying like the success of this child and her future as an adult really depends on me.
Right.
So it's like, all right, let's do it. So I just had to step my game up, I guess, to be honest. And then same thing. And then after my wife passed away, I was living in Texas, and it's not really my thing. I moved there to be with her at the time. And so I was like, all right, I got to start fresh. And so, I want to be happy. So I was going to move home, and then I got an opportunity here. and I've always been in love with Colorado. I love Colorado.
So
It's just
great.
the best place.
I love it here.
Yeah, I'll be here forever.
Me
I mean,
too.
I might split time maybe when I'm older and retire between South Carolina and here, but I'll never leave Colorado ever. So I don't know. To answer your question, I'm sorry. I told you I ramble.
I'm a rambler too. It's fine.
Yeah, that's how you get to the root of it, right? You got to
Right.
ramble a little bit to
That's
get to
right.
what the point. But I think just the main motivation really since 2008 was my daughter, and just doing whatever I can to be like that guy that she needs to be the person she needs. And then I think also just being inspired by being a reservist in the military. I was surrounded by great people that, just kind of, come on, buddy, and also in everything I'm in leadership positions. Like every aspect of my life, I'm in a leadership position. So whether I like it or not, people around me depend on me, whatever. I'm not saying like just for decision making and guidance and sort of like setting the standard. That's how my daughter looks at me. That's how my team at work, I think, I know they might laugh, but I think that's the job I'm in. I'm a CEO. So, I mean, I got to be bringing some leadership to the table. And then as a reservist, people look to me as to kind of guide the way. So that's helped me as well. A lot of people don't have those teams and those people around them, sometimes, I just haven't been able to let up. Like it's been just, okay, well, that's a really bad situation, but I still have to take care of these other people. So I think it's helped drive me,
Right.
So
Your story has really been a scary one for me because the adversity that you have faced as one human, I can't even imagine. And I've been through similar stuff, but it's so hard to be an adult and face losing a child and a wife, and you have overcome and you've grown so much in your career and as a father and as a significant other. And I am just so grateful that you have shared your story with me because it sheds a little light on the other side in coming out and being on top and finding this, this light at the end of the tunnel, because I can't even imagine what you have faced as a man and a human altogether. And I thank you so much for being here, because you really have been a light in this crazy, crazy thing that even I'm facing as a cancer survivor. To hear your side as being the survivor on the worst end of the spectrum is just really incredible. And I think that you are amazing and you are dynamic. And thank you so much
thank you.
for being here with me.
Awesome.
This is for you.
Awesome.
Listen.
Oh, there we go. We got it.
Thank you
you.
so much for being here, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Enjoyed it.